What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today, Dragon Ball Daima. Yes, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Daima today, because just a couple days ago, over the weekend, I'm recording this on a Monday, the last two episodes of the Dragon Ball Daima dub were released, so both the sub and the dub are out, so I figured I would wait to talk about it until both dropped. I could have talked about it before when the sub dropped, because I watched both. I watched sub, I watched dub. At least when it comes to Dragon Ball, because it's my favorite anime. It's the one I love the most. It's the only real anime I'm huge into aside from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of just those two. I'm more, as you guys have seen from my other videos, more comic book DC Marvel kind of thing. So, I did want to talk about this though, because as you can kind of tell, I do have Goku behind me. I have a couple Dragon Ball figures here. I'm a fan. So, I definitely wanted to talk about this because I've been seeing a lot of mixed feelings on it. Now, personally, I loved it. I thought it was great. Overall, I'd probably give the show 9 out of 10, I think. I really, truly, genuinely loved it. I enjoyed it. It very much felt like what GT should have been. It felt, and it's funny because it did feel fresh, you know? Even though it was basically just Toriyama going, oh, I'm going to do my take on GT, may he rest in peace. It still kind of felt fresh. You know, it was nice to see Goku as a kid. But it wasn't just him as a kid, it was everybody, which was one of the issues with GT. I thought it was just weird having Goku, and I guess Pan, be the only kids, and everyone else was kind of just full. It was just weird. Putting everyone mini and on the same level, I felt it made it easier to digest, and it was more enjoyable. It was fun to see all these interactions with everybody and see how Vegeta would deal with being a kid again, or Piccolo, or Chi-Chi and all that. But it was really cool, and it also captured that adventure type feel of the original Dragon Ball, which felt like that's what GT tried to do in the beginning, but then it just kind of devolved to like normal, like how DBZ was at that point, and it just didn't work for me. This, I loved it. I loved the adventure aspect. I loved that we got to learn more about the Demon Realm and the Demon Realm characters and things like that. I am kind of bummed out because I was convinced that Pansy and Mira, I just did it, that Pansy and Glorio were going to be revealed at the end of it to be Toa and Mira, because, especially Glorio, their designs were basically just those two characters. Like if you had played the Xenoverse games, or if you're familiar at all with Dragon Ball Heroes, you know that Toa and Mira are very prominent villains in those franchises, and I love Toa. She's my girl when it comes to Dragon Ball. So I kind of was like, oh, their designs are so similar, especially Glorio. He looks exactly like Mira. I feel like they could be something, you know, they could be maybe revealed like undercover agents, which Glorio kind of was. He was working for Aransu, who I think Aransu very much felt like kind of a Toa stand-in, because she's very much a similar character, except Toa's not a Kai, she is or a Glend as they were called, whereas Toa is the sister of Deborah. So I do kind of wish they would have added that. That is one thing one of the few issues I had with the show is I do wish they would have incorporated, you know, Toa, Mira, or at least referenced them and made them canon, which that's something I want to talk about with this. So that kind of, it didn't affect the show for me that I was wrong, but I was so convinced, but it was cool. I liked that they kind of did with Glorio. He was working for Aransu, and then at the end of it, he kind of switched allegiances and used the wish for Goku and the gang to become, you know, full size again. The overall story was cool. I liked it, you know. It was a fun way to basically say, all right, GT didn't work, but there's something here. Let's try and do it in a way that it can work. And I did. I liked it. I love seeing, this felt like good old Dragon Ball to me, because I do like the original Dragon Ball. And it was nice to see that where it was more story-driven, and it wasn't just, oh, fight, fight, fight all the time. Maybe they could have thrown in another fight or two here and there, potentially, because there were some moments where it did kind of drag. For example, one issue I did have with the show is that it's a 20-episode miniseries, and there felt like filler. You know, the ship they're in, or the multiple ships, like the one kept breaking down, then they had to get a new one, and that broke down, they had to repair that one. It was just, guys, let's come on. We have 20 episodes to get this done. We don't need those. So those episodes were kind of like, ugh, but I did enjoy, seeing Goku and Glorio and Supreme Kai going through the different demon realms. Like the first, third world demon realm, first world, second world. It was cool seeing how different they work, how there's this kind of class system, how the different demon worlds viewed each other. They didn't really interact with each other much. And that was really cool. I liked that. I thought it was very cool. And of course, Toriyama is always great at designing these worlds, and the characters felt very cool and interesting and fresh. It was just awesome seeing Goku with the power pole. I like the power pole. I think it's cool. I wish it was utilized more. I'm a big fan of the heroes stuff for Dragon Ball, even though it is just kind of like everything thrown in a blender and just go crazy. But it's fun, and it's cool that Xeno Goku has the power pole. I just wish he would use it more. So it was cool to see that, and it was really cool to see him as a Super Saiyan use the power pole. And one of the issues I had originally with GT is we don't see Goku and Trunks when they're going exploring turn Super Saiyan. There are moments where I'm sitting there watching it going, guys, turn Super Saiyan. Guys, turn Super Saiyan. Guys, you can turn Super Saiyan. So it felt like maybe the people working on it didn't know, or they forgot. They made the characters look dumb. But in this, it's not like every time there's a situation that comes up, Goku just goes, all right, Super Saiyan. No, he does it when he needs to. It very much felt like it was showing off how strong Goku was, just in his normal base form. So I did appreciate that. The animation. The animation in this show was incredible. It was gorgeous. This is probably the best we're ever going to get, outside of, a movie, like an actually anime TV show or whatever. And I mean, it was 20 episodes, so that's why it wasn't an ongoing, which, Shueisha, give us our, Toei, give us our freaking Dragon Ball Super 2 or continuation or whatever. Franchise is breaking records, freaking highest grossing franchise in Japan's history. Give us an ongoing anime, be even more. But no, they want One Piece, but that's a tangent for another time. It looks stunning. It did, especially 19 and 20, the last two episodes, when adult Goku, or I shouldn't say adult, I should say full-size Goku, normal Goku, does the whole Super Saiyan lesson where he goes through Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and then goes into 4. The animation was incredible. And hats off to both voice actors, both Masako Nozawa and Sean Schemmel. I don't care what anyone says. They both killed it. I'm seeing a lot of, I want to say discourse, but a lot of people were saying that, are trying to harsh on the dub, saying that, it's not as good. Sean Schemmel doesn't have any more, blah, 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 blah. And I sat there and I watched it and I went, no, this is awesome. The guy passed out around 3 times in the booth doing the stuff in these 2 episodes. And after seeing this, I understand. I don't know how the guy has a voice left. I wouldn't. But he killed it. He absolutely brought his A game, and he killed it. It was awesome, regardless of your thoughts on him as a person. I'm not the biggest fan of him as a person. It does seem like he's trying to not be as much of a dickhead, but I gotta give credit where credit is due, It's one of those times where it's like, try to separate art from artist. With this, I can. And he nailed it. He did an amazing job, and it was awesome. So yeah, I genuinely love the show. It was cool to see Vegeta get some more shine and actually become a Super Saiyan 3, because Super Saiyan 3 is my favorite form. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but on my Goku picture up here, there is Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure. It's my favorite form. I just love the kind of primal look to it. I'm kind of biased because, it has long hair. I have long hair. I like the fur. It's just cool, and I like how Sean would give it like that kind of like deeper, kind of, Bat Schemmel, like doing his Batman impersonation when he drops his voice down as Goku. I thought that was cool because with Super Saiyan 3, that's when Goku went serious. He wasn't, goofing off anymore. He was, okay, no, we need to, get down to it. And the same thing with Super Saiyan 4 in GT. So I was happy that in this, Sean continued and did the kind of like the deeper Bat Schemmel voice for Goku in Super Saiyan 4. So I did appreciate that. It was awesome seeing Vegeta get Super Saiyan 3 finally, and I did even like that they changed Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 slightly, like just a little bit, whereas Goku's kind of like falls down and gets really, when it gets really long. Vegeta's gets long, but it kind of stands up because, you know, like Vegeta has his hair is always up. I thought that was cool and it was clever. It was a nice little visual touch to distinguish his from Goku's from Gotenks, which I thought was cool and I appreciate it. And speaking of Vegeta, Chris Sabat, man, he absolutely killed it with his SS3 Vegeta Final Flash. I absolutely love that. And even from the Japanese voice of Ryu and Masako, they killed it as Goku and Vegeta all the time. There's no... I don't really need to say that. They always do a phenomenal job. So, yeah, I genuinely loved it. I genuinely loved it. My biggest issue, because like I said, I did kind of find it annoying when the ship kept breaking down. It felt like filler in a very short series. My biggest issue for this is Super Saiyan 4. Not that it's canon, not that he has it, not that he went into it, but we don't get an explanation. All we get is Goku saying... Because Vegeta asked him, what was that form at the end? And he goes, oh, you mean when I went Super Saiyan 4? Well, Boo pushed us to our limits, because this series is supposed to take place between the end of the Boo Saga and Dragon Ball Super. So yeah, Boo pushed us to our limits, and I trained really hard. I didn't think I could pull it off. So it kind of makes you go, so could you do this the whole time in Super? So, and this is the biggest issue that people are bringing up. In Battle of Gods... whether it's the Z movie or the arc at the beginning of Super, whichever one you want to go by, Goku makes it clear that Super Saiyan 3 is the highest he can go. Yet now we have this Super Saiyan 4. Now, all I'm asking for, all they needed to do was go, have a line that says, oh, it was Neva's magic. Because that's what we're led to believe. Because when Mini Goku first becomes Super Saiyan 4, Neva walks up to him, does a little magic thing, and he's able to transform. All they needed to have Goku say or something was like, maybe it was the old Namekian unlocked something. Maybe it was the power of the demon realm or something. Like it was a demon form, like a demonic form, like the Super Saiyan God forms are God forms. How Ultra Instinct is an angelic form. That would have been cool. Brought it all full circle. No, we just Goku going, yeah, I didn't know if I could pull it off. So it's like, could you do it? Could you not do it? We don't know. It's very much ambiguous and vague, which is really annoying. Because I would have liked to have known that. It's the one thing where I think the GT did better, because in GT, even though, and I know this is a whole conversation debate, Super Saiyan 4 in GT technically doesn't have the proper name. Technically, it should be like Super Zaru or Super Grade 8, because it's basically going Super Saiyan as a Grade 8 and then controlling that. So it's Super Saiyan mixed with Grade 8. But it's easier to just, mark it and say Super Saiyan 4 than Super Uzaru, Super Grade 8, or Master Uzaru, or Master Grade 8. So it's like, okay. But we get the explanation is, yeah, you go Grade 8, you go Super Saiyan as a Grade 8, control it. Cool. Understandable. Makes sense. This is just, it makes it seem like it's the next step, like it is the fourth Super Saiyan transformation, even though it has nothing similar to Super Saiyan. No golden hair, no green eyes. He still has the yellow aura, but he's like this kind of like pinkish color, fur and hair. It's darker pink than his fur in GT. Like, again, I have the thing here to show you. Like, this is kind of this is the pink from GT. The pink that he has in Daima is a bit darker. It's not quite this bright. One second. Alright, we're back. Apologies, but I wanted to show this here. So here's Goku SS4 in GT. Here it is in Daima, and you can see, whereas Daima has the kind of, it's a darker pink, but it's still kind of a pink, like almost like a maroon or lavender, and his forearms are way bigger, whereas these are kind of normal size. His forearms here are bigger. So then now it feels really different, because it's like, this has nothing to do with standard Super Saiyan forms. So, huh? And there's no explanation. That's the biggest issue. Now, the biggest part where I'm seeing a lot of discourse, and this is something I want to bring up because if any of you guys have watched my videos before, you know I'm big DC, Marvel. I love Star Wars. George Lucas Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars. Transformers. All that stuff. And I swear, Dragon Ball is the only fandom that I see this with. Maybe it does show up in these other ones, but I'm not seeing it. And that's this idea that canon doesn't matter. That in the East, in Japan, they don't care about canon like we do. And that us Westerners, us Americans need to stop being so obsessed with canon. And no. Like, what do you mean? Why should I invest my time? Because my time is important. You know, I'm not trying to get too, uber religious or anything here. I'm just gonna, this is gonna make part of my point. I'm a Christian. I believe that, everyone here was put on here for a reason. That's what God wanted. Meaning that everyone's time is valuable. Everyone's time on this planet is worth something. It doesn't matter if we're a big Wall Street CEO or the president of a country or the some kind of big movie star or some kind of big social media. It doesn't matter. My time is some guy who works a 9 to 5 every day and is filming videos in his bedroom because he likes to talk about nerd stuff. My time is just as important as those other guys. Granted, their jobs are more important, but I'm still just as important. I was still put on this earth for a reason. I'm not just, here to take up space. So, if you want me to invest my time, my money, my effort, whatever, into your product, whether that be figures that, as you guys can see, I love to collect, or if you watch my other channel, which go like and subscribe if you be so inclined. If it's movies to go watch, shows, whatever it may be, if you are putting out something you want people to spend their hard-earned money and time on, and I do that, me or whoever else has every right to give our opinions on it, whether it be good or bad. And my opinion is, and I would hope a lot of other people would agree with this, if you're just gonna, because this, again, Daima is meant to fit in between the end of the Buu saga and the start of Dragon Ball Super. It's in that little window. If you're going to put something in that slot, you need to explain, and you're trying to say it's canon, or it's implied that it's meant to be canon, because Toriyama or whoever was the one behind it, then you can't have these little plot holes or things like that. People are going to point it out, and people are going to be upset about it, as we have every right to be. Now we have all these questions that how does this version of Super Saiyan 4 work? How did you just need to train for it? Why does it look so visually different? Is it harnessing the power of the Azaru? Is it referencing Dragon Ball Super Broly when they basically say that Broly mastered the power of a great ape in his human form, or his humanoid form? We got a throwaway line in DBS Broly. We couldn't get it in Daima? And this was a lot longer. I'm just asking for a throwaway line. Just be like, yeah, I needed that extra push from the old Namekian to do it. Maybe it's just the effects of the demon realm on me. Maybe it's I absorb some power of the tertian oculus or the third eye. Something. But they're just like, yeah, I didn't know if I could do it. I just did it. Which, I mean, I know Dragon Ball is known for these quote-unquote ass pulls when it comes to, like, forms and whatnot. But and I know I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, if Goku would go Super Saiyan 3 now, if Dragon Ball Z was airing for the first time right now, people would be all calling that an ass pull and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no. Goku becoming Super Saiyan 3 off screen, it makes sense. There's a 7-year time jump from the end of the Cell Saga when he's dead and stays with King Kai because he doesn't want Earth and his friends and family to be threatened anymore because he feels like he's the reason. There's 7 years between that and when he comes back and the Buu Saga starts. We all know what Goku's like. Goku trains like a fiend. He has nothing to do. He's dead. What else is he going to do other than train? It makes 100% sense that Goku would leave not even knowing how to transform into Super Saiyan 2, but in that 7 years, he figured out a way to go even further beyond. It makes sense. This is the definition of an ass pull. Kind of like Beast Gohan, but Beast Gohan is Gohan. He's been training. I wish they would explain it a little bit better, but I don't feel like I'm being unreasonable asking for just a simple explanation, just a throwaway line, something. You don't need to write like mathematical equations and a thesis and have a whole like 20 episode arc or whatever explaining the form. Just be like, hey, this is why this works. This is how, just like a simple line or two. That's all I need. And I don't see this whole, don't be obsessed with canon in DC and Marvel and Star Wars, whatever. And Star Wars a little bit because, you know, the whole Disney thing. But it's just so puzzling to me. And it's like, no, I'm going to bring it up when there's a glaring issue. And people are like, oh, well, that's how Toriyama's always been. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, and I no disrespect to Toriyama Sensei here. I'm not trying to disrespect the dead here or anything. You can't just be like, oh, well, that's his style, and it's like leaving plot holes. I mean, you have a whole team of writers and whatnot, and a writing staff, and producers and everything. You mean to tell me one of them couldn't be like, oh, we need to throw in a line here that explains this? It reminds me of George Lucas and the prequel thing all over again. So, yeah, that's my one big issue with it. But other than that, I genuinely loved it. I loved all the new characters. I love Pansy and her family. Pansy felt like she was meant to be kind of like the Pan of the show, but she was way more... I liked her a lot more, because she was a kid, but she was an adult, because like her species aged much slower. So they said she was like 80-something, when she's like the size of like a 5-year-old, which was funny. Her dad was funny. I liked most of the characters we met. Aransu was great. Majin Ku and Majin Du were cool. I love that Ku was the one who ended up beating Goma when everything was going on because Piccolo and the guys couldn't do it, and he was able to like quickly get the 3 whacks on the back of his head to get the third eye out. That was fun. That felt very Toriyama in a good way that I did like when he does kind of subvert expectations. You know, just like the Tournament of Power ending when 17 was the one who won and got the wish. That was cool. I like that. Those are good expectation subversions. I love Goma. I thought Goma was, again, that classic kind of gag Toriyama villain. He was funny. I enjoyed him as a character. I thought his design was great, that he has this little like clown-looking dude in the Jiren outfit, but then he grows this like giant monster and they have to deal with it. I thought the idea of the third eye and them having to deal with all this magic was really cool. That's something different than they're used to. There's a little bit of it with, you know, Baba and their OG Dragon Ball, a little bit with Bobbity and Majin Buu and Z. Didn't really do a whole lot in Super. I liked it because it's something different. It's not just, oh, we're punching and punching. You know, they actually had to strategize and think a little bit. That was really cool. The only new character I didn't really like was Degasu because he didn't do anything. He was just there to be annoying. It would have been nice to show him off more, maybe have him fight some more, but I don't know. You know, it can't be perfect, you know, but overall, I genuinely loved it. I really, really enjoyed it, and it just makes me really want the Super anime to come back. The manga's still going. We've got, what, 2.5 arcs, something like that, done in the manga, and it's starting up again after it took some hiatus. Shueisha, Toei, whoever it is, I get it that you guys want One Piece to be your baby and your top dog. It's Dragon Ball. It just is. If you guys like money, which clearly you guys don't, greenlight a super manga. Or anime, sorry. The movies do insanely well, even when you don't advertise them. Superhero did incredibly well. Broly did incredibly well. Daima, for the most part, was very well received. I just... Give us Super back. Give us the Super anime back. Seeing, you know, Ultra Ego Vegeta would be great. The fights with Moro would be great. And that's nothing. I liked Moro as a villain because he was kind of, you know, the whole old guy trying to become young again. But he was a cool, interesting character. He used magic. It was something different. I liked it. So, yeah, those are basically my thoughts and feelings on Daima. Loved it. 9, maybe a 9.2 out of 10. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, I highly, highly suggest you watch it. It's completely finished, sub and dub. Check it out. I know it's on Crunchyroll, obviously. That's how I watched it. I believe it's also on Netflix, so you can check it out both of those places. And, yeah, that's going to be about it for me. I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you are so inclined. And I always appreciate you guys watching. I genuinely enjoy doing this. Hopefully I'll have another video up for you guys soon. I still have quite a few ideas brewing in the brain that I want to do. And that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace and love, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.